Lisa Tuozzolo wants headphones. She gets headphones. Check them out. You have your little thing over there. Go ahead. You got it there? You all set?
I'm good.
Great. Joe, how are you, Sergeant? Good to see you. Thank you, Albert, for putting that together. And thanks for putting on the old man. A great old man selection. I love that indeed. Joe Piscopo on the radio, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. What a morning. Good morning. It's a lot going on this Tuesday. We're streaming live, by the way, on YouTube and Facebook on AM 970, The Answer. Sergeant Joe Imperatrice is with us. He is the head of the founder of Blue Lives Matter. And you want to take a picture? We could do a picture. Let's do it with Lisa Tuozzolo. I'm such a fan of smiling. There we go. That's it's like it was a picture. Lisa, great to see you again. I'm going to go in for a little hug there, Italian thing. God bless you. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great, thank
I have
you. How
such
are you?
immense respect for you.
Thank you.
Immense respect. I see at the Tunnel to Towers run with Frank Siller and the Siller family. Great with the two boys. You're raising the boys on your own after losing Paul. And you know, it was like a domestic violence call, you know. And right, Sergeant, I always say that the police officers always put their lives on the line on domestic violence calls nowadays. You don't know what you're going into. Very, very dangerous. And we appreciate you keeping Paul's memory alive.
Thank you.
How the boys doing?
You know, every day is a struggle, but we keep our heads up and we keep moving forward. That's the lesson I'm teaching the boys is never give up.
Yeah, and I want to. And Sergeant, we're going to tell about Sergeant Imperatrice is going to tell you about the event coming up in April
6th.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be at Nicotra's Ballroom in
Nicotra's.
Staten Island.
Oh, maybe you'll get a room, Joe. I didn't get one. I didn't get a room.
We're working on it. I don't think I got one either at this point.
No, forget it. Don't count on it. I love Richard and Lois Nicotra, two of the greatest people. We love them like family, and they treat you like family. You won't get a room. No, I'm only kidding. Lorenzo's March 22nd. You guys around? You should come. You should go. You can bring the boys. It's a regular old. I'm bringing my kids with me. At least I'm bringing Mikey on stage. My son, he's going to play, and my 20-year-old daughter is going to sing with us. So we're doing a whole new show over there at Lorenzo's on March 22nd, and the event is in April, and we'll be over. I'm going to really try to get over there. I think I can make it this year. I'm working. I got a lot of alimony, a lot of child support. Please, guys, it's a whole different story. I got to tell you. And Joe, thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you very much.
And Lisa, I want you listening to hear the voice of Lisa, the voice of Joe, and all that the NYPD, all that they do. It's important. And as you listen around the country on AM 970, theanswer.com, I know you're watching Texas, South Carolina, San Francisco. I know you're out there, Israel and Australia. We appreciate that. You got to support law enforcement. And for some reason, the whole respect for law enforcement has gone away, and it puts the dangers and the lives of these valiant warriors, the men and women of the NYPD and law enforcement around the country, at risk. And Joe, and along those lines, for all that you're doing with Blue Lives Matter, what is with this? And I talked to Commissioner O'Neill when he graces us with his presence. What a great guy Commissioner O'Neill is, doing such a great job with the NYPD. Almost once a day, you see a police officer killed. I mean, when you came up, you're still a young guy, Joey. What's going on? Why is this happening?
I say it all the time, is when you have the politicians get in front of a podium and people that want to act like celebrities, or sort with the actor recently making the hate crime allegations. It was completely false, and that could have went really bad. There could have been riots and whatnot, and thank God with that incident, they locked them up and they proved the point. But they get in front, and people that are misinformed, they go out there and they listen to it, and it puts officers' lives in danger. Every single day, I've never met an officer that wanted to go out there and do something bad. They do it because they want to be the best. They want to help people. You want to make a difference. And it's not always easy, but when you look at the family members like Lisa or Ramos and Lou, and it makes you remember why you put on your uniform and do your job to the best of your ability, because you do it in their memory. And these women go out there every single day and not only keep their loved ones' memories alive, but they make a difference in the police department. Lisa her goal is to go to every single precinct in the NYPD and speak about love and how important it is to cherish every single moment. And coming from her and other families like the Lee family, when they tell you how special you are and the difference you make, that's what matters.
Yeah, and I look what happened with your husband, Lisa, Paul, and forgive me, it's so tough for me to have you here in person, because you're such a strong, valiant woman. You really are. because when I see you with your children and then what you had to go through, and forgive me for asking you this, but could you just tell the folks kind enough to listen what you went through, the phone call, what you had to deal with, and it's just to make sure that people know exactly what the warriors of the NYPD have to go through every single day.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got a couple hours for me to talk because my life changed forever in an instant. And, people see me smiling and people see me moving on and people see me happy. And I am an egg. I am an egg with a hard shell. But you can be sure that I am scrambled up inside. Just a mess because I lost my husband and, more importantly, my children lost their father. That day, my husband was responding to a domestic violence incident where the perpetrator was holding his 3-year-old and estranged girlfriend at gunpoint, and my husband, along with 7 other officers, went to pursue him, and my husband was the first to approach his vehicle, and when they did, the perpetrator shot my husband. And my life changed forever that day. It will never be the same. He never saw my children go off for their first day of school, no Little League games, no, future successes that they will share with me. My husband will never be able to be there with us.
And you get that phone call. Someone came to the house, I guess, right after that, right?
Yes.
And that just is seared in your heart forever. And your boys, they were so young. I mean, they're still so young.
They are.
And tell us how you deal with that. What do you say to your kids?
When my children say, "Mommy, I miss Daddy," which they do on a daily basis, for me, it's not about forgetting, just and dismissing their feelings. It's, okay, let's talk about it. What do you miss about Daddy? And I try and talk about a memory of Daddy every single day because that's what's going to keep, at the time, my 3- and 4-year-old, when they lost their father, that's what's going to keep their memory alive of their dad. And for me, I share my memories with them as well. And then usually the kids go on and move on to their next sports or, wanting to watch a hockey game, and they leave me in a puddle on the floor. So.
And when I saw it, I saw you at the Tunnels to Towers run, and you said, "What are you doing here?" Hey, and we're trying to celebrate first responders and the great job that the Siller family does. And you are so up and so positive because you are a role model for all other families who lose loved ones, in the line of fire like that. But that's got to be tough.
Thank you.
You do feel it inside, yeah.
I absolutely do, but I think it's important for me when I go to events like that I bring my children because it's important for them to see how valuable all of our first responders are, whether it's fire, police, or EMS, or anyone else. It's important for my children to understand and grow up knowing the importance, the sacrifice that's made every single day, not just on the days like November 4th, 2016, when their dad was killed, but every single day when everyone's loved ones leave their families to go out to protect strangers.
You're such an inspiration, girl, I got to tell you.
Thank you very much.
You're such a great part. Were you Frozen with the boys now? Frozen? You're going on Broadway?
Yeah, we're going in 2 weeks.
Joey, I keep telling my 8-year-old, I'm old. I have an 8-year-old. I know it's pathetic, but that's what I have an 8, and I say, we're going to see Frozen. You can actually go there. You got to let me know how it is.
Definitely.
And then what'd you do, Lion King too?
I surprised my mom for her birthday. I won't tell you how old she is.
She's still young. Come on now.
But surprise party for her and surprise Lion King tickets for my whole family. So.
How you do it? But you know what's great? The family of the NYPD. And Sergeant Joe does it. And I told you this before, when I was with the NYPD Holy Name Society, and I was honored, right, Joe? They honored me there, and it was so great. And I'm on the dais, and Cardinal Dolan was there. And Commissioner, I told you this before, and I've told you this listening and watching on the air before, the Commissioner of the New York Police Department, and this is an elite law enforcement, internationally renowned and respected. It's really a small family. Commissioner O'Neill says to me, "Joe, thanks for having Lisa on the radio. You were great on the radio." Isn't that great? The Commissioner, Lisa, doesn't it, just like your first name. This is a family. Tell us about that, Joe, about the family of the NYPD.
It makes me so proud because even at the recent funeral of Detective Simonson, Commissioner O'Neill, it's real. You hear it in his voice, how much it matters to him. He is a cop's cop. He really is at the end of the day. He does it so long, and he said it before, because he loves it. He loves coming to work, and it's just something he really enjoys. And when you have a leader like that, that's showing the raw emotion of how much he really cares and showing his human side, it makes you proud to be an officer in this great city, and it makes you want to do your job that much better. And it's not easy. Every single time something happens, and you'll hear it from the widows that when they see something on TV like this go on, it brings them back to their time. It's the same thing for officers when you hear that call, when you start getting the text, it brings you back to, the first police officer funeral you went to, and you just get that pit in your stomach. And because we've said it before, the worst thing that could ever happen is a knock on your door, a telephone call that you're not coming home. And that's how we started. And we want to show the family that not every call, not every knock on the door is a bad thing, and we could bring a smile. And I just want to thank everybody out there that's gone out there on our website and purchased the shirts for Detective Simonson. We're going to be able to give a check for close to $50,000 with all the support that everyone's done. It's crazy because with 7,000 shirts, there's a lot of work, and you got a package. And myself and a couple volunteers last night till midnight, and then Lisa and our executive board last night getting ready for our gala coming up, honoring the 5-year anniversary already of Ramos and Lou. So they're going to be there. It's unreal, but that's what's important, especially with this department, and we do it better than anyone, is remembering our officers. And 5 years later, we're going to have a huge celebration on a positive side and the Cultures Ballroom. You can go to BlueLivesMatterNYC.org, get your tickets. We have some surprises going on. We're just so excited having Lisa as our chairwoman. She was the recipient of our first Archangel Award a couple years ago, and to have her want to be a part of this and stay out till midnight, and she shushes the kids to bed. She's like, go to bed, I got stuff to do, leave me alone. It means so much, and it's special.
I spend time with my children. I put them to bed right. I read them stories.
You're always with them.
You're always with under the bus.
You're always with. But if you want to go out, by the way, it's April. What is the date?
Saturday, April 6th.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it. If I'm working, Al always gets on my case. A big Al here always goes, Joe, you don't show up. You don't do this. I got to work. I got a lot of kids. I got 5 kids in New Jersey. I have a child at every exit. You know that. It's true. It's true. So that's why, Lisa, I appreciate what you do, because I'm such a dedicated father. Oh my God, I love it. I live for it, and I see it in your eyes. I admire what you've done, what you went through. And then you know what I think of too? 17 After 8 with Joe on the radio. Lisa Tuozzolo is just a valiant warrior, and she's the widow of Paul from the NYPD, and Sergeant Joe Imperatrice for Blue Lives Matter. I remember my father was shot. They of course they thought Italians, Joe. They thought it was a gangster. It was a wacko back before you guys were born in the '60s. My pop got shot, and I've told this story before. And forgive me if you watch it. And it was a client, and my father was a great, giving, loving lawyer representing these folks that were, and this guy was whacked out, just a regular mental illness. He got shot. We didn't know what happened. All I remember is being on Whittier Terrace in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and as a kid, and I was 9, I think, if I was 10 years old, and my mother went to the door, and this is what I think of you, Lisa, all the time, and there was a police officer at the door. And all I remember seeing was would they have a .38 caliber then? I remember seeing the bullets, and I remember seeing the weapon on the side of the officer. That's all I could see behind literally my mother's apron strings. And I saw, and that cop, that Bloomfield, New Jersey cop was great. He talked us through it. He goes, no, everything, we think it's okay, we're not sure. But what you went through, I can't, because I was, as a kid, all I did was drop to my knees, I prayed. Everybody that was on the radio, it was such a confusing time. You have handled yourself in such a magnificent manner, young lady, I'm telling you. And to see the greatness that you do, that your husband, Paul, he's watching over you, and, talk about angel wings, huh? And the way that you get the message out to police officers everywhere. God bless you for that, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
It touches my heart. Being a hopeless, helpless dad like I am, trying to always reach out to my kids too. It's my whole life. It's what you've done is great.
And that's so important. My kids are involved in hockey practice 3 days a week, wrestling, baseball, lacrosse. They stay involved. I make sure they stay involved and know what it's like to be surrounded.
Can you get me tickets to Broadway too? I said I can't get there. I can't get there myself. Joey, give us the date. Give us the website, man. Sergeant Joe, what's going on?
So April 6th, it's our 3rd Archangel Awards Gala. It's going to be a very special night. We have our past and present widows that are there, which makes the night so special. We have some surprises planned. It's going to be in Staten Island, the Cultures Ballroom, 7 p.m. We normally average 400 to 500 people. We'd love for you guys to come out, show your support. It's incredible because so many times officers want to go up to these families and just say thank you, or we're thinking about you. And this is your chance to go there and be in the same room as them and really show your appreciation. And you can go to the website at BlueLivesMatterNYC.org.
Thank you, Joe. God bless. Godspeed, my friend. Lisa, love you. And I love to the boys. Always great to see you. Piscopo in the morning. Debbie Duhame's out there right now, 20 minutes after 8.